We are live, and the music of Billy Joel will echo across New York like it never has before. There's definitely a feeling of permanence to it. We're in Madison Square Garden for a press conference that is about to begin. I'm Al Troutwig from MSG, along with Jack Osborne from Fuse News. And Jack, Billy Joel is one of those people that has a connection to just about everybody. What's yours?
I think Billy Joel has been one of those artists who's just been a part of my love of music since I can remember. He's a staple, but he's also a staple to New York City. I mean, he's played Madison Square Garden 46 times, so I'm really interested to see what the announcement is today. 46
times gets him a banner here at Madison Square Garden, and a little bit more. Do you have a favorite song?
I think probably Piano Man.
Mm-hmm. I remember I was in college and someone played me music. I was into Led Zeppelin and they played Billy Joel, and I said, you know what, that's something I can get into. And he was from Long Island and I was, and it was a connection that just lasted a lifetime.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he has that ability to connect to anyone because he's got such a vast catalog of music. There's a song that someone can resonate to. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you had Jethro Tull. He brought the flute in, and Billy Joel brought the piano in, and he made the piano cool.
Absolutely, for sure.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Madison.
So, Billy Joel is on stage, and so is Jim Kerr from Q1043. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Artists to make a very special and, quite frankly, historic announcement. Now, as you entered here today, I hope you had the opportunity to look at the extraordinary photos showcased in this room that represent a powerful snapshot of Billy Joel's exceptional career. Now, these photos, many of which were taken at one of his 46 memorable concerts here at Madison Square Garden, capture one thing: an extraordinarily talented artist. And they're just a sampling of the enormous breadth and depth of Billy Joel's career and his long-standing relationship with Madison Square Garden since he first played here in 1978. Billy Joel has gone on to earn 33 top 40 hits, all of which he wrote and performed, a 6-time Grammy winner. He sold more than 150 million records worldwide. Congratulations on the Kennedy Center honors. To help us understand the remarkable achievements of this one amazing artist, I'd like to direct your attention to the screens for a quick video.
I'm lucky to have been born in New York City, and we all wanted to be able to play Madison Square Garden. That was the temple. And when I got to play there, that was a watershed moment for me. Wow, now we really have made it. We started playing the Garden in the late 70s. A lot of times you don't recall the gigs. I recall the Garden shows. They always stick out in my memory because we love the New York audience. We get a great response there, and we just look forward to that crowd. It's going to be a great crowd. There's a thing that happens at the Garden. It doesn't happen in other venues. It's built on springs. The building actually moves when the audience is coordinated in their foot stomping. You get this rocking sensation. The stage actually goes up and down, and the crowd is rocking the hall. I think there is a sense of this is a hometown gig, and this better be good because everybody you ever knew in your life is going to be there. Plus, it's an international venue. When you play a gig at the Garden, they'll report on it in Budapest, in Beijing. You hear about this gig all over the world. It's not pressure, it's just an awareness that it's not just New York City, it's worldwide.
We're going to be okay, we're going to get through all this, because this is New York.
When we first started playing the Garden, I was thrilled to play one night. We ended up doing multiple gigs, which was amazing in the first place, and then the last time we played there, we ended up playing 12 gigs, a dozen gardens.
No other artist in Madison Square Garden history has ever played a 12-run sold-out situation. In honor of this milestone, Madison Square Garden, for the very first time, is going to send to the rafters the name of an entertainer.
I'm in a New York state of mind.
Every time you play the Garden, it's one of those, great gigs. Whether you played there 50 times before or not. It's just fun to be able to play the Garden.
Ladies and gentlemen, history is being made at Madison Square Garden tonight.
There's so many memories that together have created an indelible legacy. Billy Joel is an inspiration to all of us. Now, as a lifelong fan of Billy Joel's music, I've spent my career following his career, which led me time and time again to Madison Square Garden. I have been lucky enough to observe defining and monumental moments in music played out by Billy on the Garden stage. Most recently, last year at the 12-12-12 concert for Sandy Relief, when his performance just brought the house down. It was absolutely incredible. And of course, I look forward to enjoying many more of these great moments here at Madison Square Garden. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to some Madison Square Garden legends who are here with us today. One of the greatest success stories in New York City sports history, this player went from the minor leagues to the NBA All-Star Game. From a player trying to make the team in training camp to one of the most popular players to ever don the orange and blue. On May 25th, 1993, he authored perhaps the single most famous play in Knicks history, splitting the Bulls' defense for the dunk, a driving tomahawk slam that sent the Garden into a frenzy in the final minute of Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Given the official title of legend in 2011, he is currently the team's alumni relations and fan development advisor. Please welcome John Starks. A Rangers legend. He spent 15 full seasons with New York and stands as one of the franchise's all-time greats, forming one-third of the renowned goal-a-game line along with Jean Rattel and Vic Hadfield. He ranks as the franchise leader with 406 goals and 1,021 points, and he's second with 615 assists. The first Ranger to have his number lifted to the Garden rafters. He later joined the Immortals of the game when he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1982. Please welcome Rod Gilbert. A 6-year veteran of the WNBA, this Paterson, New Jersey native saw her dream come true when the New York Liberty selected her in the 2008 WNBA draft. Just miles from the home she grew up in, she has been blessed to call the world's most famous arena her new home for her entire career. An all-star performer, her name is sprinkled throughout the Liberty franchise record books. Please welcome Essence Carson. And one of the most popular figures to ever wear the blue shirt, he set a watermark in professional sports for excellence both on and off the ice. The sixth player in Rangers history and fourth from the 1994 Stanley Cup championship team to have his number raised to the Garden rafters. He held the franchise record for most goals in a single season for 12 years after tallying 52 goals during the 1993-1994 season. Please welcome Adam Graves, who will also be speaking on behalf of the franchise players who are with us today.
Getting a little older here. Certainly as a fan and admirer, it's a privilege to be up here. And on behalf of all these incredible MSG athletes who have joined me here today, I'm extremely honored to welcome Billy Joel into a very special group. Those of us lucky enough to be a part of Madison Square Garden's legendary franchises. I had the privilege to play as a New York Ranger. I am proud to now continue to be part of this great organization. There is no other venue quite like the Garden, and there are no other fans quite like New Yorkers. They're passionate, they're loyal, and they know when you're giving them your all. They appreciate the effort when you play with pride. When you perform here, you know that you represent New York and all that New York stands for. It's called the world's most famous arena for a reason. Playing at the Garden is a special moment in an athlete and entertainer's career. It's a place where once you play, you feel as though you've made it, that you become the latest in a long line of individuals who together made the Garden the magical and celebrated venue we all call home. Billy, as one of the greatest musicians in the world and as a native New Yorker, this is exactly where you belong. And on behalf of all of us, we welcome you to our family.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Hank Ratner, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Madison Square Garden Company.
I'm honored to be here today with Governor Cuomo, Jim, Melissa, our MSG legends, and of course, Billy Joel, on what marks another historic day for Madison Square Garden. I'd like to start by thanking Dennis Arfa and the rest of Billy's team for making this day a reality. Dennis really was instrumental and worked tirelessly on making this happen. I'd like to point out Dennis, who's standing right there. Thank you, Dennis. We are thrilled to welcome the one and only Billy Joel to the one and only Madison Square Garden as a new MSG franchise, bringing his legendary talent to this legendary venue each month for as long as his fans continue to want to come, which we expect will be for a very long time. Our relationship with Billy started in 1978 when he first took the stage at Madison Square Garden. For Billy, 1978 was also the year he received his first 2 Grammy Awards, Record of the Year and Song of the Year for Just the Way You Are, followed by his first #1 album, 52nd Street. Meanwhile, Madison Square Garden was celebrating its 10th year in this location, which it shared with the Felt Forum, one regional sports network, and the Knicks and the Rangers. Neither of us could have guessed how much things would change over the next 35 years. Today, there are few performers with the global reach and impact of Billy. His accomplishments included 16 albums that have gone platinum, 11 of those multi-platinum, as well as countless awards and honors, including 6 Grammys, and as of last week, being named a Kennedy Center honoree. During this period, MSG has grown into a leading sports, entertainment, and media company with 7 world-class venues in 4 cities, 3 sports and entertainment networks, the Rockettes, and 4 professional sports teams. Most recently, with the completion of our unprecedented 3-year transformation of Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena is now also the world's most state-of-the-art. The transformation ensures that Madison Square Garden continues its legacy of delivering celebrated moments for generations to come. Part of that legacy has been built by countless artists who defined generations of music and left their mark here. But this is the first time we're officially welcoming one of those artists as a Garden franchise. Welcome home, Billy Joel.
And now will you please welcome Melissa Orman, President, MSG Entertainment.
Good morning. I'm privileged to be here this morning to announce and celebrate the next great Madison Square Garden franchise, Billy Joel at the Garden. Today, we're announcing a show that will take place on May 9th, in addition to the 4 shows that have already sold out. May 9 also happens to be Billy's 65th birthday. This new franchise is about creating legendary, enduring, and unforgettable rock and roll, something Billy Joel has been doing all over the world for decades. But as far as his music has taken him, however many times he has played sold-out arenas from Memphis to Moscow, Billy Joel has always come back to New York, back to the Garden. Billy first walked onto the stage in 1978 when he was just 29 years old. It was then that he found his home, literally and figuratively. Billy Joel is New York, and Billy Joel is Madison Square Garden. Today, 35 years later, we're making it official. Billy's franchise performances for Billy Joel at the Garden will kick off on January 27th and will continue February 3rd, March 21st, April 18th, and now May 9th. Future shows will be announced at a later date. We're thrilled that Billy will serve as such a powerful anchor for the Garden's concert schedule, and we want to thank him for joining us in such a unique partnership. We look forward to music fans getting to experience the electricity and the emotion that only Billy Joel can deliver, particularly when he's at home at Madison Square Garden.
And the executive chairman of the Madison Square Garden Company, Jim Dolan.
Morning, everybody. And thank you all for coming. It is a great day for Madison Square Garden as we officially welcome Billy Joel into the Garden family. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, for being with us today. We know, in addition to your leadership and commitment to all aspects of our state, you're first and foremost a New Yorker, and that means you're a Billy Joel fan. It's an honor to have you with us. I want to thank John and Rod and Adam and Essence who have joined us today. They are enduring figures in our sports franchises, here to welcome the first member of our music franchise, the one and only Billy Joel. If I just digress from the script a little bit, Billy, having you as our music franchise feels a little bit like having the Pope as your parish priest. I'm truly an admirer and have grown up with your music too, and so I'm just thrilled to death. Billy and I have a lot in common. We're both Long Islanders. We're both passionate about music. We both love Madison Square Garden, and now we're both going to be spending a lot of time here. For decades, Billy has been part of our history. Since his first show in 1978, Billy has performed 46 shows at Madison Square Garden, including a run of 12 consecutive sold-out performances in 2006. That number 12 now hangs in the rafters among the Garden greats, including a few of the legends here with us today. Billy lent his talent in two of the most memorable experiences at Madison Square Garden, when we came together with both Harvey Weinstein and John Sykes to help New York when New York needed it most. That's the 12-12-12 concert for New York City, where benefit concerts, that and also the concert for New Orleans were concerts that galvanized some of the greatest names in entertainment to join together in the name of music, hope, and generosity to help both the metro area and, in the case of the other hurricane, New Orleans. Those two concerts raised more than $85 million, and Billy was a huge part of both of them. So it's fitting now, in our newly transformed arena, we begin a new partnership that will ensure that someone who has been such an important figure of our past will also be a major part of our future. And it's an honor to welcome one of rock's greatest musicians home. We look forward to so many unforgettable nights next year and beyond. And now it is my honor to welcome to the podium the governor of the great state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. It truly is my pleasure to be here today with the legends, so many people who I grew up with and admire so much. It's a pleasure to be back at the Garden. A big thank you to Jim Dolan and his team, what they've accomplished in revamping Madison Square Garden. They invested $1 billion into the Garden. The really good news is none of it was my money. And a $1 billion investment is going to make sure that the Garden is a state-of-the-art arena, and we're confident that its economic and social importance to this state will only grow. Madison Square Garden is New York's big stage. It's the sports and entertainment soul of this state. It's where we've watched victors crowned, losers vanquished, and legends immortalized. It's the arena where we saw Walt Frazier's style and Bill Bradley's hustle, Joe Frazier's grit, Muhammad Ali's grace, and where Ranger fans, the most loyal fans there are, watched Adam Graves and his teammates break a 54-year-old curse. The Garden is also where we come together to celebrate, to mourn, and to heal. It's where we gathered after 9/11 to comfort one another, to grieve together, and to support one another as a community of New Yorkers. And it is the only place that could have hosted a concert with the emotion and power of 12-12-12 Hurricane Sandy relief. So how fitting it is, then, that a New York icon now joins another New York icon, and that is what Madison Square Garden joining Billy Joel represents. It is the perfect match. Billy Joel has been acclaimed around the world as a musician of prodigious talent and a visionary artist. This Sunday, as you've heard, he will receive the highest honor our country can bestow when he will be recognized by the President of the United States at the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. Billy's music and his words voice the challenges of ordinary New Yorkers, the struggles they face, the dreams they share, from high school sweethearts Brenda and Eddie to the struggle of the working middle class in Anthony's song to the economic challenges of the Long Island Baymen in the Downeaster Alexa. Billy tells the New York story because Billy is the New York story. Born in the Bronx and raised on Long Island, faced with hardship and challenges, his determination, hard work, and talent overcame time and time again. Billy fights for what he believes in, he speaks out against injustice, and he remembers the forgotten. He is a worldwide superstar who values most that he is a hometown hero. Our prodigal son, who left New York for that other coast, but he came back and he penned the greatest love song to the state of New York ever written, New York State of Mind. Billy Joel is truly one of New York State's great treasures, and it is fitting that he joins another treasure, Madison Square Garden. I am proud to call Billy my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to give you Billy Joel.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Jim, Governor Cuomo, Hank, and Melissa for your kind words and for all your efforts in making this moment possible. I'd also like to thank John Starks, Rod Gilbert, Adam Graves, and Essence Carson for your support. I have a lot to live up to with those words. I hope I don't let you down. In all seriousness, I'd like to take a moment to talk a little bit about what Madison Square Garden means to me. Growing up as a young, aspiring musician in Hicksville, New York, Madison Square Garden appeared larger than life. And like many other aspiring musicians, I dreamed of playing the Garden. But it was more than that. Madison Square Garden was New York to me. It's the place where artists become stars and players become legends. In 1978, I achieved my dream of playing this iconic venue for the first time. I thought it didn't get any better than that moment. Now, 35 years later, I've had the incredible fortune to experience 46 of those incredible moments right here, including both the concert for New York and 12-12-12, which were so important to this city. I said it in '78, and I'll say it here again. There's no better venue in the world. The Garden has it all: the best audiences, the best acoustics, the best reputation, and undeniable history that is palpable from the moment you step out on stage. I'm just going to digress from my notes for a second. I'm getting a lot of credit here for how good I'm supposed to be, but I think a good deal of it is from the audience that comes to the Garden. They're a great audience, and if you have a great audience, you usually give a better show. And believe me, I played some venues where the audience was like, you know, and the show was kind of, but here, it's mutual. It's just it's mutual excitement. We get excited from the crowd, and they seem to like what we're doing. Now to have the chance to play along the newly transformed Garden, alongside its legendary and original franchises, Knicks, the Rangers, and Liberty. It's quite a momentous occasion from that older, we're still aspiring musician from Long Island. One thing I can assure everyone here today is that playing the Garden is an experience that never gets old. A show a month at the Garden, as long as there's a demand, means more opportunities to connect with music fans and to provide a unique and memorable show every night that we play there. I'm honored to be considered part of the Madison Square Garden family, and I hope to see everyone back here on January 27th. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here's what we're going to do now. We need everybody on the stage to stand up because we're going to clear the stage because we have quite an exciting event planned for you. If we can have the legends come back onto the stage, we're going to remove the chairs, strike the set. You know, when we say that Billy Joel will be the Garden's 4th franchise, that's what we mean. And the 4th franchise has a logo, and we're going to unveil it for you in just a moment. Okay, franchise players, come on up. Okay, and where is the tassel? No, just, okay. All right, come on in. Everybody get in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to unveil the franchise logos. So if you would turn around and take a look for just a second. Billy, you'll want to see this. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. The Knicks, the Rangers, the Liberty, and Billy Joel at the Garden.
So, Billy Joel is the newest franchise at Madison Square Garden. Al Troutwig back with Jack Osborne. And Jack, I'm thinking of a town of Oyster Bay, Long Island. I'm thinking of Cristiano's Italian restaurant. I'm thinking of the Miracle Mile. I'm thinking of picking the Yankees up for free. I'm thinking a lot of Billy Joel thoughts here today.
Well, absolutely. I mean, did you, in all your time of working at Madison Square Garden, did you ever think you would see a day when a musical artist, a legend, would become a part of the franchise?
Well, you know, your dad is sort of iconic, too. You know, I mean, he could play this kind of a role at a venue like this, couldn't he?
He could, but I don't think in Birmingham, England, I don't think it really stands out as much as, you know, the Madison Square Garden.
This is really thinking outside the box, I think, for this place.
It is. I mean, we live in a kind of a multimedia generation now, and I think this is kind of the embrace of that.
So Billy's going to play 4 dates. They're sold out. Then he's going to play May 9th on his 65th birthday. And the way this is going to play out, as long as New York wants to come see Billy Joel will keep coming out to Madison Square Garden, and there's nothing in history that suggests that's not going to keep going for a while.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's already proven he can sell out 12 consecutive shows in a row. What's to say he can't sell out, you know, many, many more?
Absolutely. So some Garden greats there. Billy Joel, center of it all, here in the Delta Club at Madison Square Garden. Again, the dates for Billy Joel: January 27th, February 3rd, March 21st, April 18th, and May 9th. And a website that was just activated today, BillyJoelMSG.com. That's BillyJoelMSG.com. Jack, a final thought?
I think this is an amazing experience to actually see a first. So this is very cool to witness this.
It's very cool. So it is the New York Knicks, it is the New York Rangers, it is the New York Liberty, and it is Billy Joel. That is what's happening today at the world's most famous arena.